Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today I just want to discuss Raith Rovers and Raith after this absolutely terrible game. Now, I'll be honest, right? I never went to this game. I was planning on, but I was busy, and the person who I usually go to the games with was also busy. So I never actually went, so I feel quite lucky. But I want to discuss Raith in general this season because, as most of you probably know, if you're a Raith supporter or follow the Championship, we're currently sat in 8th place. And if it wasn't for Airdrie being absolute rubbish this season, we'd be down there with them. Listen, this season has not went well. But what I don't understand is, in my opinion, our team and the quality of players we have, we should be nowhere near 8th place at the moment. We should be, we should be at the top, fighting at the top. We should be. Let's have a look at this team, okay? So, starting off with this back four, right? You have Kevin Dabrowski, who you could argue on his day, easily a Premiership goalkeeper. However, he's been inconsistent recently. He's not been on best form, and I think it's time to replace him with McNeil, just whilst he gets his confidence and gets back to things. He's not been at his best this season. He's been making a few mistakes. I wouldn't necessarily say in this Falkirk game he was at fault for any of the goals. However, I think he's also starting to become a bit of a scapegoat. People are, I think, quick to blame Dabrowski, and yes, he is making mistakes, but he doesn't make a lot of great saves in the games to keep us in the game. So if it isn't necessarily Dabrowski's fault, which a lot of the time I don't believe it is, let's look at that back four. Liam Dick, Ewan Murray, Paul Hanlon, and I can't say his name, Fincati Dabo. Starting off with Liam Dick. I've said this for years, he is not good enough. Liam Dick is a League One player at best. Yet every single season, a new manager comes in and he's consistently starting. I don't know how he consistently starts. I don't think he's a good player. Attackingly, he's not anything special. And defensively, I don't think he's anything special. He's not really got anything that I'd even say that he's quite good at. Most of what I see him do is just punt the ball long. Don't get me wrong, I think he's a good professional and I think he's a decent player to have, but for years, if we're looking to push on and fight for promotion, he is nowhere near good enough, and as I say, he's a League One player, and I've said that since he's joined. Ewan Murray's up next, and I don't know what's happened to Ewan Murray, but it seems like he's aged 5 years over summer. He's went from, a great Championship centre-half, to be honest, to someone who is not reliable enough anymore. I think he's been poor, he's not been consistent, and he's not shown the sort of level and quality that he has in previous years to show he's a top Championship centre-half. So I don't know what's going on there. I think he could get back to being better though, similar to Dabrowski, but I don't know what's going on there just now. Paul Hanlon, 3-year deal, and to be honest, I'm yet to see anything exciting. And that's controversial, I know, but this guy, when he was signed, people were going on, oh, that's it, we're getting promoted now, we've got this Premiership level centre back, and I do believe he still could play at the Premiership level. However, he has not shown it here. He's not been consistent enough, he's not been good enough. If you look at the amount of goals we have conceded, it is ridiculous. And it's realistically, it's why we're in the position we are. We aren't scoring enough goals. We've only scored the third least amount of goals, so we're 8th for goals scored. And we've also conceded, once again, the third most amount of goals, so we're 8th for goals conceded as well. We're rightfully 8th place. There's no better way to put it. We're not scoring enough goals, and we're not defending enough goals. Let's talk about Dabo, a player who just recently was fighting for Coventry to get into the Premiership, and he's now at Raith Rovers. Seriously? Chelsea Youth Academy player. He played a lot in the Championship, League One. He was called lazy by Troy Deeney at Forest Green Rovers, and I'm starting to see it. That first goal against Falkirk, he's jogging back. And Ethan Ross, he had him on toast. Ethan Ross, what a player, to be honest. A lot of people say, oh, why do we let him go? Why do we let him go? I do actually know why we let him go. He was on a really high wage. I believe he was on the highest wage at the time at Raith. Whilst also he wasn't playing much. He was getting quite a lot of injuries and just problems. So I can understand why Ethan Ross was sold. Ethan Ross, a great player, however, and had Dabo on toast. It was embarrassing, and then he's pulled his hammy. It seems. Honestly, it seems like we've signed absolute two mud right backs. And from what I've heard, Freeman is also not very great. I've not seen too much of him, so it'd be unfair to necessarily judge on my behalf. However, both right backs don't seem to be up for the level we're wanting, which is just a shame. So you've got to look at the recruitment, and John Potter especially. You know, what's going on with the recruitment this season? We've signed good players. In my opinion, we have improved on the squad we had last season. However, we're not performing to the way we want. I mean, we've signed Dabo, should be a good signing. Sean Byrne, great signing. Paul Hanlon. Do you know, these are just a few examples. Lewis Jamieson, he's played quite a few games in the Premiership. Lewis Stevenson, Lewis Gibson, we've signed good players, but for whatever reason, it's just no working out. The midfield two, Ross Matthews, Scott Brown, they're good. I'll give them that, but again, I don't think the whole team is playing as well together. Without Sam Stanton, we're an absolute disgrace. The sort of ratio of games won with and without Stanton is ridiculous. Stanton is the reason where we win so many games. Without Stanton, we're hopeless. I'd hate to think what that score would be if Stanton wasn't playing. Now I want to talk about this next player a bit, Jack Hamilton, because I see Jack getting scapegoated constantly all over social media. And I do understand, Jack Hamilton is not the best striker. He's not your average goal-scoring striker. Do I think he's championship level? Yes, I do. But the issue with Jack Hamilton is he needs someone to play off it. Jack Hamilton has some of the best hold-up play in the league. You get the ball up to him, he'll head that down for you. He'll take it under control. He'll get the ball out. He is good in that sense. However, at scoring goals and getting upfield, I don't think he is. We need someone to play off of Jack Hamilton. So why are we constantly playing one up front? Jack Hamilton needs to be playing with Lewis Jamieson up beside him if Lewis Vaughan and Callum Smith are injured. That's just simple. Or either even Cody David as well, actually. But then I want to talk about a bit as well about some of the players at the squad. Josh Mullen, he has been absolute gash since signing. Good player at Ayr, done really well at Ayr, signs for us, 3-year deal as well, by the way. Obviously 2 years now. I mean, he's been absolute rubbish since joining. It went out horribly. I don't know what's been going on with him, but he is absolute gash. I mean, next, I mean, Aidan Connolly, what a player on his day. One of the best players in the league, I'd even go as far as saying. But just consistent injuries and consistent setbacks, he's just not been the same since that sort of poor season under Ian Murray, when Ian Murray had his first season, and the last season under McGlynn, where he was tearing the league up. He's not relived that sort of hype and form. Finally, a few things I want to cover as well are Callum Smith and Lewis Vaughan. Callum Smith, first of all, I don't think he's good enough for this club. His contract's out at the end of the season. I think we need to let him go. Every single time I watch Callum Smith, I've said he's just not impressive. I don't think he's a good player. I think he's League One level. He's not good enough for the level we want to get to and where we want to be. And this is controversial as well. Lewis Vaughan. We cannot rely on Lewis Vaughan anymore, I don't think. It's another long-term injury. And these 2 seasons where we have had Vaughan have been absolutely wonderful. Lewis Vaughan, without injuries, I think everyone knows is a Premiership striker. And I'm not talking about like a medium Premiership. So I'm talking like top-end Premiership striker. I'm talking about Aberdeen, level. So he's injured again. We're struggling with goals. We're struggling at the back. The manager, Neil Collins, He's got so much work to do. And I'm going to say it as well. We shouldn't have sacked Ian Murray. And I'm not just saying that off the back of all the results happening now. I said this at the time, I'll continue to stick up for Ian Murray. Ian Murray should not have been sacked. I don't know and I know the board did explain the decision, but I just don't think it was the right one, personally, for me. I do agree about the results going a bit backwards towards the end of the last season. The Ross County game was absolutely humiliation. Not the best Viaplay Cup performance, and again, not the best opening game against Airdrie. But I think you had to have given him a little bit more time, because I would like to think with Ian Murray, we wouldn't be as bad. However, even with Ian Murray, I do also recognise we probably still wouldn't be where we probably want to be. I think a lot lies within the players, and I think a lot of players need moved on. The players who I would move on, personally, I'd maybe look at Ewan Murray, Liam Dick, potentially Dabo, although I know he's only on the 1 year deal. Josh Mullen, I think he definitely needs moved on. I think Callum Smith needs moved on. There's quite a few players, and there's other ones in this team who probably could get moved on. I know we've got a new centre back coming in, Jordan Doherty, who that'll be interesting to see if he's any good. Hope he is, because we really need some help at the back, but we also need some help up front. It's going to be an interesting rest of the season. Obviously, Dunfermline in our next match. And I think fans are not accepting any more crap. I think the problem as well with Raith this season has been so much about like social media and stuff. And don't get me wrong, I think it's good from a revenue point of view and from a sort of perspective of getting out there. But then you're seeing crap like the headphone challenge and whiskey and gin being sold at Raith Rovers, and it's kind of like, well, here's all this stuff. Oh yeah, working hard and training, and raring to go for today, and then you're getting pumped. It's embarrassing. Do you know what I mean? It's embarrassing. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I've watched John Midland football for years, and we've been absolutely pumped. It's an absolute disgrace, and the board, I think, need to sit down and answer some questions as to why we're performing so poor. Because we had a spell just recently where it looked like, you know what, we're actually improving here. It looks like maybe we're on the come up a bit. We've got that win against Airdrie, another win against Ayr, draw against Partick, and you think, right, we could really kick on. You come up against Morton at home and you lose. It was a terrible game. You beat Linlithgow Rose in the cup. Okay, that's good. Good bounce back. And then you get pumped by Falkirk. I mean, there's no consistency whatsoever. It's not good enough. It is not good enough. And we lost to Dunfermline 2-0 already this season. I think if we lose again today, I think there's going to be an absolutely horrible reaction to both players and fans. I think some of the players are still maybe reeling that we didn't get promoted last season, and they're a bit less motivated. The issue now as well of us doing so poorly is the motivation is so low. Players get motivated, they think, right, we're going to challenge for the title, we're going to challenge for the playoffs. That motivation's gone. And players are not performing to the extent and the capability of what they should be. Neil Collins, is he the right man for the job? I'm unsure. I can't answer that just now. From what I've seen so far, there's not been anything special. From what I've seen in his interviews, he seems a little bit dry, a little bit kind of not too motivating. But again, I've just got to wait and see, to be honest. I don't know. I'm just a fan after all. So thank you everyone for listening to my complaining today. I think it would be very interesting to see what other people are thinking. So if you have any other opinions, thoughts, let me know down in the comments. I'm more than happy to. I'm more than happy to listen out and see what people are saying. Again, I'm really concerned with this team, and we're not at the level we need to be. So how can we get to that level? Anyways, Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.